true essence of leadership is to plant trees under whose shade you may never sit. So I'm a firm believer that really what we do in life, we might not always reap the benefits right away. The real challenge is to empower somebody else so they can do great things. And so because of, I guess, my love for young people, my love for agriculture, I've enjoyed my relationship with the FFA and 4-H, and it kind of drives my passion toward discussions of agriculture, food, leadership, food security, food safety, and sustainability.
So how is the work you are doing in seeing maintaining poverty or attempting to resolve it?
That's a good question. The issue of poverty, I might turn around and ask the question, how long is a piece of string? Because somebody's definition of poverty may not be another person's definition of poverty. And because we don't share the same definition of poverty, we can have these great debates about poverty.
Texas poverty.
But I think in terms of low income or socioeconomically challenged populations, I don't see those populations as any different than any population in the state or in the country when it comes to discussions about their food. And I think finding ways to engage those conversations for mothers, for fathers, for grandparents, can not only provide insight into what they consume, but I also think it provides opportunity in understanding what career and job opportunities may exist that may have gone under the radar because they weren't understood.
What do you think the stepping stone will be to bring inner city children back to the soil?
I think that is going to be a challenge. I wished I could tell you there's a magic bullet there. I don't think there's any question that social media and pop culture have had a tremendous effect on what we think and what our kids think. In the words of Abraham Lincoln, the philosophy of the schoolroom in one generation will become the philosophy of government in the next. We see this time and time again. So probably the example that I would use is at my church. They built a new youth building. I'll never forget this. And the youth minister said, he said, if you think you're going to go to the days where your kid went to church with you and sat right by you, and if they act up, you pinch them and tell them when they get home they're in trouble. He says, don't be surprised when your kids leave here and Disney and Nickelodeon and MTV capture their minds. And he said, quote, we have to be willing to compete for the minds of our kids. And when you ask the question, what's going to be the bridge? I think it's going to have to be passionate people who are willing to compete for the minds of young people and adult populations that have no connection to food or agriculture. And we're going to have to be competitive in how we think about that. How do we compete for their mind? How do we compete for their attention? And I think when we figure that out, and I think it's going to be through pop culture, maybe through social media, I think when we figure that out, we will begin a dialogue